see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. C'est voilà. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why this is now like this. It was better when it was tabbed. No. Reverse. No, go away. Alright, 3, 2, 1. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Quran in English. My name is Ahmad and we're jumping into a new chapter, Surah An-Naml, the chapter of the ants. Namla is singular ant, Naml is plural ant. So it's the ants. There's an S at the end. But yeah, before we get into it, let me explain what I'm doing here. I am learning about the Quran. I speak Arabic, but my Arabic isn't the best. I'm learning how to read it, and I'm discussing my understanding of it in the hopes of learning, and I hope that you learn too. So if you like this type of content, feel free to continue. If you get triggered by mistakes, then do not. Cool. Okay. Alright, off we go. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Before I do this, which I'm saying Bismillah. Chapter the ants. I didn't give a hint about it on the last episode. We were talking about Sulaiman, King Solomon of the Jews, the son of David. Very exciting. So this is more story time, which I love story time in the Quran. But I kind of missed lessons, but we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, story time. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. Let's go. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم طاسين تلك آيات القرآن استغفر الله العظيم طاسين تلك آيات القرآن وكتاب مبين. طاسين, the Quran starts many times in many chapters with letters that we don't say as a word. We don't say tas, we say طاسين. We don't fully know why yet. There are many theories. تلك آيات, those are the verses of the Quran, and it's a book that is clear. And a clear book is what it says, not the clear book, and a clear book. It is understood that it is talking about the Quran, but again, we've seen this keyword, kitab, book, quite a lot, and it means to more than just the Quran, if I understand it correctly. هدى وبشرى للمؤمنين, a guidance and a bringer of good tidings, good news to the believers. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون. Those who establish prayer and give zakat. Zakat is alms tax. It's the purification of your finances by giving it to those who are in more need. Understanding that everything comes from God, and so everything belongs to God, and so whatever wealth you have gained is because of the boons that you have received from God and the blessings that you have received from God. So giving back is an essential part and an essential tenet of Islam, to give back what you have gained. Not all of it, but a portion, a fraction of what you give. And they are in the hereafter. They believe, no, it's not the hereafter. Al-akhirati means the final one, which it refers to the day of judgment. It refers, al-hayat al-dunya wal-hayat al-akhirah. No, it does refer to the hereafter. That after life, there will be, after death, there will be judgment, and then there will be the final one, the final moment, whether it's heaven, hell, the eternal life. And they believe in it with certainty. These themes we have discussed a million times on this channel before. إن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة زينا لهم أعمالهم فهم يعمهون. Those who do not believe in the hereafter, what comes after this life, we have made it seem good, we have made it seem pretty for them, their deeds, we have made their deeds seem pretty for them, we have made their deeds seem good for them, so they are wandering blindly. They don't know what they say, they don't know what they do. أولئك الذين لهم سوء العذاب وهم في الآخرة هم الأخسرون. Those are the ones that for them is سوء العذاب. A dreadful torment is a nice way. The worst of torment, the worst of punishment. We've talked about it with the Safa. Safa's like iqab is adab, and sorry, iqab is punishment and adab is torment. But either way, is not good. And they are in the hereafter the ones that will be the biggest losers. I don't know if you guys remember that show, The Biggest Loser. Anyway, very irrelevant. Hereafter, those who don't believe, they're going to suffer the most, and they're going to have a terrible afterlife. وَإِنَّكَ لَتُلْقَى الْقُرْآنَ مِنْ لَدُنْ حَكِيمٍ عَلِيمٍ. And indeed, you are receiving the Quran from near the all-wise and the all-knowing. So this is being said to the Prophet as he is receiving the Quran, that it is coming from someone that is all-wise and someone that is all-knowing, aka God. إذ قال موسى لأهله إني آنست نارا سآتيكم منها بخبر أو آتيكم بشهاب قبس لعلكم تصطلون. When Moses said to his family, and I perceive a fire, so I will bring from you some information, some news about what the fire is, or I will bring for you a torch that is burning so that you may be able to warm yourselves. So this is a story. Oh, okay. We get back to the character that is referred to the most in the Quran, Moses. And yeah, you might know the burning bush. We're about to hear it from yet another element. We've already covered it a couple times, but we always get something different, something new. فلما جاءها نودي أن بورك من في النار ومن حولها وسبحان الله رب العالمين. So when he came to it, the fire, he was called that blessed is the one who is blessed whom is in the fire and whoever is around it, and glory be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Now here this footnote says this refers to the angels that were present around the light. Possibly, yes, and I think it actually makes sense, and I believe that there was an angel there as well. But it specifically says, blessed is whom in the fire, who's in the fire. Could be angels, could be more, could be less, I don't know. It doesn't mention, it just said, blessed is who is in the fire, and who is around it is also interesting. Because I would also imagine there are jinn, there are spirits, and this is like a key moment in humanity's interaction with God, when God speaks directly to somebody. And we have so many records of, so many stories of it, from the Jewish community, from the Christians got it from the Jews, and from the Muslim community. So it's a very specific moment, so I would imagine there were a lot of witnesses from spiritual entities, whether we're talking a jinn, jan, angel. Blessed be the ones who have surrounded at this moment. And then it says, and glory be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Subhanallah Rabbil Alameen. In the beginning, when I first read it, Burika man fin nar, I was like, blessed is the one who's in the fire. I was like, is that talking about God? I don't think it is, because in the same verse it's saying, and glory be to God. So blessed is the one in the fire and the ones around it. Glory be to God, Lord of the worlds. Cool. Ya Musa, innahu ana Allahu al-Azizul Hakim. O Moses, it is I, God, the Almighty and All-Wise. So God is speaking directly to Moses. God doesn't speak directly to everyone, and I don't think even the Prophet Muhammad, God spoke to him. God came, he received the Quran through a messenger, Jibreel. And God spoke to him through the words of the Quran, but not directly. I think Moses spoke directly. So there was a verse in the Quran that says God's communication to the messengers, some of them were direct in Moses, some of them was behind a barrier. Actually, this might be the one behind a barrier, because maybe the fire was a barrier, I'm not sure. There's another part of the Quran where it says Moses wanted to see God, and God said, I'm not going to show you me, I'm going to show the mountain behind you me. And he showed the mountain behind him, like God revealed himself to the mountain, and the mountain collapsed. So it's like, yeah, I don't think your tiny human brain can comprehend God. It will, and I can't even fathom. Like, I cannot. Like, my brain, it just feels like a million fractals to imagine what looking at God would look like, and it would just break my brain. I would just, yeah. But so God spoke to him directly. Says, Moses, it is I, the All-Wise, Almighty and All-Wise. I am God. For those who are new to this channel, Allah is literally just the word. Al means the, La means God. I am the God. And this we've seen before. وَأَلْقِ عَصَاكَ. Why am I struggling with this word? وَأَلْقِ عَصَاكَ فَلَمَّا رَآهَا تَهْتَزُّ كَأَنَّهَا جَانٌ وَلَّا مُدْمِرًا وَلَمْ يُعَقِّبْ يا موسى لا تخف إني لا يخاف لدي المرسلون. And it said, throw your staff. So Moses threw his staff. So when Moses saw it moving, as if it was Janun. Snake is not the right word. Jan is a spirit. There's Jinn and there's Jan. Maybe somehow colloquially we have started using the word Jan to mean spirit, snake, but there are references to Jan in the Quran when it talks about Jinn and Jan. So I don't think snake is the right word. It's slithering like a snake is probably what it did, but it looked like it was possessed. I think that's the idea behind it, not the movements it was making that was, oh, it's like a snake, therefore I'm scared. It's the fact that his staff is moving. The fact that it has come to life, it looks like it's possessed. At least that's how I understand it. Which obviously, as you can see, both translations, slithering like a snake and were a snake, disagree with me. But that won't be the first, it won't be the last. So what happens when he saw the snake moving? He turned back in flight and he did not look back. So God said, O Moses, do not be afraid. Do not. لا تخف. See, this is the right word for fear. خوف, not taqwa. لا تتقيني doesn't make sense. Don't be mindful of me. No, don't be afraid. This is the right word. Indeed, the messengers do not fear my presence. Which is a very powerful statement. إني لا يخاف لدي المرسلون. Which is like, God is saying, the messengers do not fear my presence, which is a strange statement because Moses is a messenger and he is afraid. He didn't know he was a messenger at the time, but he was a messenger and he was afraid. So it's kind of like, yeah, here they said, translated to messengers should have no fear in my presence, which is kind of the idea that's understanding. But I just try to imagine, would I be afraid? And I think I would. I mean, it's intense, right? God's talking to you. إني لا يخاف لدي المرسلون. Indeed, the messengers do not. Yeah, it says do not fear. And the the messengers do not fear, not should not fear. Should is, yeah. But in a way, you're telling him you shouldn't fear because you're telling him messengers don't have a reason to be afraid. I do kind of understand the meaning of should not fear in my presence, even though it is not explicitly stated. It's just a strange statement, and it's very powerful. Yeah, the messengers should not fear my presence, except إلا من ظلم ثم بدل حسنا بعد سوء فإني غفور رحيم. Except those who did wrong, those should be afraid. But then they substitute to do good. So except those who did wrong should fear, except if they substitute to do good after the evil, then indeed I am oft forgiving and most merciful. So he's not saying that you should be afraid because, you're doomed and I'm going to kill you. He's saying you should be afraid because I am reminding you of my presence and my glory, and you can still mend your ways, and God is, of the 99 names of God, Ghafurun, the oft forgiving, and Rahim, the most merciful. So if you do good after you do evil, then there's always hope. As long as you can breathe, there's always hope. وادخل يدك في جيبك تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء في 9 آيات إلى فرعون وقومه إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين. And enter your hand into your pocket, your bosom, that's a lot, your pocket. It'll come forth as white without any blemish or harm. And in that is among the 9 signs towards the Pharaoh and his people. Indeed, they were a people that were defiantly disobedient. Now here, we've talked about this many times. See footnotes for 22. They've described it, the hand coming out without any issue. We've talked about many theories. In 2022, they talked about it shining with white light, as if it was glowing. And I don't think that understands what without any su'in, without any blemish. I think the idea is that his hand was healed of hard life's work, and that it was like, this was like olden times. Everybody worked with their hands, and you worked heavy, and you worked hard, and you have splinters and blisters and calluses on your arm. And then producing an arm that is perfect is miraculous. And it's among the 9 verses, the 9 pharaohs. I wonder, can we do it like this? Will it be able to take us? Yeah, so I just have to click on it, right? And we seized the people of Pharaoh with years of famine and deficit from fruits, so that they may be remembered. Okay, either way, there are 9 signs. You can figure it out in the Quran. If you just also go to Quran.com, you can figure it out. But there were 9 signs, among them which was the hand being unblemished. فلما جاءتهم آيتنا مبصرة قالوا هذا سحر مبين. So when our signs came to them, very visible, very clear, and the locust, the frogs, the hand, the snake, the staff. When they saw all these things, the people of Pharaoh said, this is pure magic that is obvious. This is pure magic. This is clearly magic. Misunderstanding what they were seeing, and misunderstanding, and not believing Moses when he said, this is from God, y'all need to listen. وجحدوا بها واستيقنتها أنفسهم ظلما وعلوا فانظر كيف كان عاقبة المفسدين. And they rejected it. They were like, although their hearts were convinced that the signs were true. وجحدوا بها واستيقنتها أنفسهم ظلما وعلوا. I don't think they were convinced of the sign. They were convinced that it was magic. Their selves convinced them that it was magic because of injustice and haughtiness and arrogance. Their selves told them this is definitely magic because it can't be God, because we're not wrong, because Pharaoh is God. That's how I understood. They rejected it because they were convinced by themselves that out of injustice and haughtiness. So see how was the end of the corruptors. We know how the Pharaoh and his people chased after Moses into the sea that was parted. Yeah, and this is kind of like, this is why they were certain that this was just magic, because they literally followed him into the Red Sea. And that's it. We've seen this story many, many times, but we kind of get a bit more feeling. What do we get more out of this time? This for me. إِنِّي لَا يَخَافُ لَدَيَّ الْمُرْسَلُونَ. The messengers do not fear me. And blessed is the one at the fire, and whoever is around it, and whoever is in the fire, and whoever is around it. Whoever is in the fire, and whoever is around it is blessed, which is very cool. We do mention the sandals at another time, but that's the end of Moses' story. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ عِلْمًا ولقد آتينا داود وسليمان علما وقال الحمد لله الذي فضلنا على كثير من عباده المؤمنين. And verily we gave Dawood and Sulaiman knowledge, and they said, praise be to God. I always prefer to say thanks be to God. It's kind of the same but slightly nuanced. It's not thanks, it is praise. But like, whenever I am feeling grateful for God, I say praise be to God. Anyway, they said, praise be to God, the one who favored us over many of his servants, of his slaves, the believers. The privilege of their ability to communicate with members of the animal kingdom. Spoilers to the next verse. Control the wind and utilize the jinn for the service. Again, all of this is spoiling what we're about to read in this chapter. وورث سليمان داود وقال يا أيها الناس علمنا منطق الطير وأوتينا من كل شيء إن هذا لهو الفضل المبين. And Solomon inherited David. David was succeeded by Solomon is not a good enough translation. Solomon inherited David. So Solomon inherited what David had. Also, there were the rulers of the children of Israel, the kings, King David, King Solomon. And he said, O people, we were taught the language of birds, and we have been given from everything. Indeed, this is surely the favor that is clear, the bounty, the greatest, the favor that is evident. We have been favored by God. Very nice, very sweet. وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون. And it was gathered for Solomon. It was gathered for Solomon armies from jinn and men and birds, and they were set in rows. They were perfectly organized. فهم يوزعون. It's a new word for me. حتى إذا أتوا على وادي النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. The armies of Solomon had come to the valley of the ants. So one ant said, O ants, enter your homes, your dwellings, so that lest you not be crushed by Solomon and his armies, and while they do not perceive. So the ants are like, uh-oh, the armies are here. If they come, they're going to kill us. So everybody get in your homes. And then فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وادخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. So Solomon speaks the language of the animals, not just the language of the birds, because he smiled, laughing from what she said. So Solomon heard her, understood, and then laughed. And what did Solomon say? He said, "My Lord, grant me the power to thank you for your favor." And this is why hamd is not thanks, shukr is thanks. And if I'm going to be specific about other phrases, I have to be specific. Actually, that's my name. My name is Ahmad, and I always say the most thankful one, the most praising one. That's a lot better. Okay, my name is about praise, not about thanks. I'm going to sing your praises. Let me praise you. Anyway, Solomon heard the ant, and he said, God, grant me the power to thank you for your favor that you have bestowed upon me and upon my parents, and that I may do good, righteous deeds that you will be pleased with, and admit me by your mercy among your slaves righteous. Now, I remember my mom telling me the story about the ants, and that Solomon heard her, and therefore he didn't step on her, and he avoided it. I've read these verses. It distinctly does not say that he didn't step on her, but he did laugh. So I'd imagine that he didn't stomp on her. But we're going to get a little bit more about Solomon's character a little bit in these next couple of verses, because we don't have that many verses left. وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين. And he inspected the birds, and he said, why do I not see the hoopoe? Hudhud. It's a bird. It's a pretty bird. Or is he from the ones that are absent? So he looked at the birds, didn't see the hoopoe. Hoopoe is an interesting word. He said, I don't see him. Why? Or is he one of the ones that are absent? And then what he next says makes me go, huh? لأعذبنه عذابا شديدا أو لأذبحنه أو ليأتيني بسلطان مبين. I will torment him with a torment that is severe, or I will slaughter him, or unless he comes to me with a reason that is clear. Which, this is a lot. Punish him severely or slaughter him is a lot. And maybe it's a part of my maturity, and I'm getting more accepting of this, because I was like, when I first read this when I was younger, I was like, geez, this is a lot. This is like an angry person. This is why you're so angry. Why? Because it's not against my nature. The more that I get older, the more that I realize that there is a war between good and evil to be had, that difficult choices have to be made when you are leading armies and fighting for God's presence, that everybody has to obey in order to be successful. So as extreme as it is, also there is, unless he comes with a reason that's clear, there is if he gives me a good reason, then fine, but like, you do also have to be Jabbar, mighty. And that's a lesson that I'm learning. I'm still not fully there, but I'm getting a bit by bit. But of course, the hoopoe had a good reason. But it just seemed like a lot. And I'm like, okay, so this person, so he won't step on ants, but he gonna kill a bird that's a part of his army because he's not there. And it's like, فمكث غير بعيد فقال أحطت بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين. So he stayed. Not. It was not before long. The Hopu stayed and came, and he landed. Then he said, I have encompassed that which you have not encompassed yet. I found something out that you don't know. I know something you don't. And I come to you from Sheba, with news that is certain. I come to you from Sheba with some definite news that you need to hear. إني وجدت امرأة تملكهم وأوتيت إني وجدت امرأة تملكهم وأوتيت من كل شيء ولها عرش عظيم. Indeed, I have found a woman that owns them, and she has been given from everything, and she has a throne that is great. So here there's a footnote. It says the Queen of Sheba in Islamic tradition is known as Bilqis. They name her as Bilqis. But he's talking about there's a woman ruler, and she's been given lots of things, and she has a grand throne. Magnificent throne. وجدتها وقومها يسجدون الشمس من دون الله وزين لهم الشيطان أعمالهم فصدهم عن السبيل فهم لا يهتدون. I found her and her people bowing before the sun instead of God, and the devil made it fair seeming to them. The devil made it seem made their deeds seem to them good. So he stopped them from the path to God, the path back to God, aka the whole reason why we're here on this earth. So he stopped them from the path back to God, so they are not being guided. So the devil made their actions seem good to them, and he stopped them from coming to God, and they were worshiping the sun. So I mean, that's a great sell. It's an easy sell for Satan to tell people to worship the sun, especially here, like in colder places. It's like the sun represents everything. You know what I mean? So he made it seem good to them, so that they are not guided, and ألا يسجدوا لله الذي يخرج الخبأ ألا يسجدوا لله الذي يخرج الخبأ في السماوات والأرض ويعلم ما تخفون وما تعلنون. That they should not bow down before God, the one who brings forth the hidden from the heavens, the skies, and the earth, and he knows what you conceal and what you declare. So he made their deeds seem appealing to them, and so that they don't focus on God, the whole reason for existence. الله لا إله إلا هو رب العرش العظيم. God, there is no God but He, the Lord of the throne that is great. And this sign usually means that we have to prostrate. Now, this is where today's chapter ends. But the next section I used to love as a child, because it's about jinn and magic and things that are cool from my perspective. So I'm excited, but I don't know when will be the next time that I do the episode. Maybe tomorrow, unlikely tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, as usual, we always end with صدق الله العلي العظيم. Yeah, thanks for watching. I love you. Get out of here. مع السلامة. Bye.
Speaking of which, last time I was in Amsterdam, Last time I was in Amsterdam was, wandering around, being a bit of a tourist. And I asked one of the locals, I said, where's Anne Frank's house? And he told me straight away. So it looks like some of you did collaborate. Yeah? In a room filled with 100 cocks, how many would you choke on? There's a lady here with a work problem. The fuck are you talking about? You're curious? Okay. How many dicks would I choke on in a room? Well, there's 12,000 people in the room. Let's say it's 50-50. There's 6,000 dicks in the room. I know you're thinking that's probably an afternoon's work, but... You crazy fool. What's your name? Hi, Stephanie. What do you do, Stephanie? Depends on the guy, does it? Don't leave a gap, Stephanie. Go on, what do you do? Logistics. Well, you got yourself here. That's a victory. I don't know if she's meant to be here. There's 100 guys in a room somewhere with their dicks out going, where the fuck is Stephanie?
thing you have to consider is that men do not know how to be good partners naturally. They do not know how to take care of other people. Some do, don't get me wrong, but very few. Most men have to be taught. I had to be taught a lot to learn how to care for other people's emotions, to learn how to make space for them, to learn how to ask about them when they're sick. I had to learn all these things, and I learned them because a wise woman, aka my sister, beat it into my goddamn head. So men have to be taught how to take care of your needs. So that's why it's very important to communicate your needs. Whether it's men, whether it's women, you always have to communicate your needs to your partner in order for them to figure out how they, if they can, and how they can. And when they do not deliver your needs that you have asked for, then it's easier for you to walk away. You know what I mean?